Jared was used to living in small spaces. The cramped apartment in downtown Chicago was modest but enough for him and his daughter, Tyra. They'd settled there after a difficult few years, moving from place to place, trying to make a better life. Jared, a police officer with a shaky history of long shifts and overtime, found solace in the quiet moments he could spend with his daughter. New Year's Eve came, and Jared decided to spend the night at home. He wasn't interested in the loud parties or chaotic crowds. Instead, he wanted to relax with Tyra. They made dinner together, something simple, a roast chicken with mashed potatoes, and then played some board games while watching the clock tick closer to midnight. But the quiet didn't last long. Around 11:45 p.m., Jared heard something in the hallway. He didn't pay it much attention at first, assuming it was the neighbors coming home. But then the doorbell rang, repeatedly. A chill ran through him. He knew something was wrong. "Stay quiet," Jared whispered to Tyra, his eyes locking with hers. She nodded, fear in her gaze. Jared stood silently and checked through the peephole. He saw two men standing there, their faces hidden by scarves and their eyes scanning the hallway. One of them knocked on the door. His instincts kicked in. He wasn't about to let anyone in. "Go to the bathroom," Jared ordered Tyra, and she obeyed without question, locking the door behind her. Jared stood still, waiting for the burglars to make a move. It wasn't long before he heard the scraping sound of a crowbar against the doorframe. His heart beat faster. It was happening. Jared grabbed the heavy iron skillet he'd been using to cook, his hands shaking. He positioned himself near the door, ready. The door started to creak as the burglars worked their way through. He could hear their muffled voices, too distracted by their task to notice him creeping closer. Finally, the door burst open. Jared swung the skillet with all his might, catching the first man on the side of the head. He crumpled to the floor, unconscious. The second man lunged, but Jared was already on him. A fierce struggle followed, and in the scuffle, Tyra managed to dial 911. By the time the police arrived, the burglars were detained. Jared and Tyra were shaken, but they'd fought back, together. They had survived.